Hello and welcome to the Raptors Show, powered by DoorDash on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. I'm your host, William Lou. A reminder, we are back in the studio, as you can see, and we are streaming live once again on Sportsnet's YouTube channel.
We've all been hard on Pascal. Like, I've been hard on Pascal. I think I've been, like, secretly trying to trade him. Like, you know, I mentioned, like, can we trade him, like, every other week at the start of the season before he came back. But you know what? Apologies. Apologies to Pascal.
Definitely.
All-NBA player. He should make the all. I don't even care. I know All-Star reserves are being announced this Thursday.
Yeah.
Sure, I care, but I want Pascal to get All-NBA. Forget about the All-Star selection.
Well, I mean, if he honestly keeps up what he's done in the last, like, 6 weeks or so for the rest of the season, I think he will be right there for it. And, yeah, I mean, just look at his effort the other game, right? The thing with Pascal that's really impressive to me is all these other guys really start to wear down. There's some fatigues, things like that. It feels like either it's because Pascal missed the start of the season due to recovery from the surgery or, you know, just whatever, but he looks so active and spry, right? The fact that he can make that double block on Jimmy Butler, the fact that he can dive on the floor, the fact that he's still making all these plays and stuff like that. Like, I think, look, there is an offensive limitation towards, like, how much he can individually score, and that's something that you can quibble with, right? Like, yes, he can, if he has the mid-range jumper going, which is a lot of the time these days. Like, he's really got that mid-range game pretty strong of late, right? Space up in the middle of the floor. He can drive it, but also he can pull up, and he's making those at a very good rate. But I think the other part of it is just like, okay, maybe you worry about the three-point shooting. Maybe you worry about, you know, is he always hitting, you know, the little floaters that he's really good at? You know, these are concerns I guess you can have, especially against, like, set defenses end of the game. But on the whole, there's nothing else to nitpick about Pascal's game. Like, he's done so much. He's stepping up as a leader, which is another question that people have from starting the season. And yeah, you see at the end of these games, like, he's consistently still creating things for the Raptors. His energy is still really high. So, kudos to Pascal, man. He deserves the world. He's definitely caught a lot of flack from everybody.
Yeah, and almost thing I was thinking about this is that we pay so much attention to whether Pascal can be this number one guy. And you just referenced it too in terms of, oh, he might not have, like, the full skill set to do this and do this down the stretch. I almost feel like maybe we should change the conversation and look at it as, like, are the Raptors surrounding him with the right pieces?
Yeah.
Because so obviously it was not Pascal's team during the championship season, but if you look at it through his prism, like, his play, like, he was on a perfect team, right? He had Kyle at point guard, he had Kawhi, all these other pieces. And now when I look at this five-man lineup, I feel like Pascal fits perfectly. And it's kind of like these five guys fit really well from a connectivity standpoint. And it's not to take away from Pascal's play, which has been so great lately, but the team has finally surrounded him with the right pieces, I feel like, in terms of a five-man lineup. Because he didn't have that last year.
No.
Last year, they were fighting themselves half the time.
Oh, yeah. And
he fought Nick Nurse.
Well, yeah.
So they were actually fighting themselves.
No, that's the real Murdoch mysteries.
Oh, man. We need that one.
What did Nick say to Pascal for him to catch the hands? But no, there were no hands, by the way, just to be clear. All right, only hands in the Raptors is Tyler Hansbrough. All right, 2013-14 legend.
What kind of energy are you bringing?
I don't know, man. I'm feeling weird.
This guy bringing that first-round sweep to the Wizards energy.
Oh, man. Remember when Dwayne Casey started him? He was like, because Nick Nurse does this thing, too, where he's always like, hey, Nick, is Fred going to play? He's listening to this question. He's like, oh, he's going to warm up. We'll see. He always, like, last second will tell you if a guy's in or out. He'll never just tell you ahead of time.
Like, you don't think Eric Spoelstra has downloaded every player's info onto, like, a chip and printed it into, like, Max Strauss's brain already? Like, if why play coy for that hour?
You keep calling him Max Strauss. It makes me he sounds like a blogger when you call him Max Strauss.
He sounds like a...
Did I pronounce his name right?
He sounds like a composer.
Okay, all right. Look at you pulling references from your childhood. But no, but seriously though, like, it's actually I don't know what my point was.
Yeah, we were making a Tyler Hansbrough joke.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, but Dwayne Casey, he started him as the Paul
Nick
Pierce
nice
stopper.
to be a little coy, right?
Oh yeah, he loves it. He loves
koi
it.
fish.
It's okay, man.
Is that one of your
This is
top?
a weird episode. Let's go on to the next player.
Oh yeah, right.
Who had a great game. It was Gary Trent Jr. 33 points, 5 steals, 5 blocks. He joins Kawhi Leonard as the only Raptor in franchise history with 30+ points, 5+ steals, and 5+ threes.
That's right. Don't need Kawhi anymore.
Yeah, definitely.
Would you trade 3 starters for Kawhi? No, I'm just kidding. Would you think about it? Which 3?
I was gonna say there's definitely a combination. We can make a deal if that's happening, but it's not.
Man, Gary, 30+ points in 3 straight games.
Yeah,
I know he was struggling a bit after he came back last time.
Yeah,
and from the injury. And now, man, I don't know where this team would be without Gary.
I don't know either because, they don't have any other shooting guards.
Oh, man, why don't we have anything? After the first 5 players, why don't we have anything?
Yeah, no. This
is it because Goran Dragic is starting a 7 Nation Army chant at FTX Arena? By the way, arena names are all trash now.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. Except for Scotiabank, clearly.
Oh,
the best one.
Yeah, the big bank.
Yeah, what was I going to say about this? Yeah, I mean, look, you know what? Honestly, the Raptors roster construction reminds me of like when my family first immigrated to Canada.
Wow, where are we going with this?
We didn't have a car, so we'd have to like walk to get groceries, and we had to I would like help them like carry them stuff home and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the hardest thing was just like making decisions of like, can I get juice for this week? And my parents would be like, if we get this juice, we're gonna have to put back something else, maybe more important like eggs or like rice. Well, actually, rice is coming home regardless. You know that. That's number one pick.
Fred VanVleet is rice.
Fred VanVleet is rice.
It's actually rice, yeah.
All right. No, but seriously, though, like it was like these kind of tangible decisions. Like it was like a strict budget and we got to walk home and stuff like that. My dad was like mad exhausted every time. So like that's what the Raptors are at. Like that's the team. Like do you want to have your first round pick for next year, which we know the Raptors can do a lot with picks, or do you want to have a carton of juice, which is someone to actually come in and help your team at the trade deadline? And it's tough, man. It's what can I say? Be kind to immigrants.
Yeah. Wow. The show's wild, man.
Right, not to you though. Apparently, you came up with apparently you had a silver spoon. Childhood,
yeah. No, generation wealth. It's been established.
Yeah.
Lastly, before we take the break, because I think we need 5 minutes from each other.
Yeah, we do.
Scotty Barnes, 2 free throws at the end of the fourth quarter to make this classic happen. We've seen this earlier this season. I believe it was in Indiana.
Yep.
When Scotty hit some key free throws at the end. I remember him on the road, his first road game, when we ruined the Boston Celtics home opener.
Oh, yeah.
He had a monster game that game. So we've seen these performances on the road, but I'm still really impressed by those 2 free throws.
Yeah, and the weird thing with Scotty is just like I feel like there will be games, first half, you don't notice him that much. Or he's making mistakes.
There will be games, it's every game.
Every game. But then he'll just like take over. It's like he's always 2 Scotty Barnes in every game.
But how do we change that? Because that would actually change the trajectory of the Raptors by a lot, to be honest.
That's a great question.
How do we change that, though?
I'm not really sure. I think Nick has already said to him 100 times, like, if you want to take 50 shots, go ahead, man. Like, we would love that, right? But, he sort of likes to settle into the game, read where it's coming from. I don't mind that approach because I think, but at the same time, though, to be a starter, and I think he's clearly a starting caliber player, there's no question about that, you need to come in aggressive and set the tone. With the rest of the team. And I think that that's where he can look for his own offense a little bit as well. But, generally speaking, when teams start to adjust and when they start to really load in on Pascal, they start to really load in on Fred, that's when Scotty can really sort of like take his step forward and impose himself on the game. So I don't mind that ultimately, but at the same time, yeah, I would like the third quarter Scotty Barnes experience essentially to be the full game Scotty Barnes experience. I think that's when he really becomes a star more than anything else, because I actually genuinely think he has all the other like tools and, pieces in his game. Like he was knocking down threes consistently in the game over the Heat. He was playing great defense. He was, was solid on the glass, making the right pass. Even small things that, Jack pointed out on the broadcast. But like, the Heat were fronting the post, and the Raptors were trying to get OG in the post, trying to get Pascal in the post. They were fronting the post. So what does Scotty do? He's like, oh, so I could be here in the dunker spot waiting for the next pass. Or what I could do is I could flash up to the free throw line area, make that an easier pass. Then I can hit the pass over the top to get a guy going back door if they want to front. And that's what the Raptors did a really good job of, was just sort of like that synergy of knowing how to beat different defenses. And that's the thing with Scotty, is like that's a play you expect Marc Gasol to make at like 35.
Oh, so he is. So he is the new Marc Gasol.
I mean, in a way, yeah. And when Marc played well, the Raptors almost always win. Same thing.
And
with
when
Scotty.
when they didn't, he ate his own jersey and shaved his head in the bubble.
Yeah, that was tough.
2 extremes.
That was
Shouts
very
to Marc.
tough.
Yo, Marc, come back, man. Marc off.